What's up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And today it's time for, yes, you guessed it, a shoulder workout. It's actually been a while since I've posted a shoulder workout, let alone any workout, but a shoulder workout has been a while. If you follow me for a good while, you know that I only train shoulders once every 3-4 months or so, maybe every 3 months. But when I do, I make sure to focus on what makes the shoulder big, what makes them bolder shoulders. Basically, if you train the shoulders, you want it to be big, round, and voluminous. Now, most of the exercises I'm doing today is going to be with dumbbells and barbells. There's only going to be one exercise that uses a cable, which you can replicate with a resistance band if you have one. So most people who have some dumbbells and a barbell and a resistance band at home can do this workout as well. But at the same time, gyms are opening back up again all over the world. Hopefully that's the case for you as well. Here it might take a while, but anyway, let me explain what I'm doing right here. I'm showing you every single set of the side dumbbell lateral raise. Simply my all-time favorite and simply best exercise to build big and wide shoulders. And if you also see all of my sets I'm doing, you see that I'm doing a high volume approach. The first few sets are very light but high volume, at least 25 reps. This ensures that a lot of blood goes to the right place, and that will be the side delts. When the side delts are pumped up, when they're filled up, they literally become bigger, and that's how you wish you would look every single day. So to me, when you're training smaller muscle groups on the body, such as the side delts, the rear delts, the arms even, the calves, the forearms, usually it's not about the heavy weights, it's more about the volume. Now if you're training the back or the legs or the chest even, then heavy weights are more important, but for this particular shoulder workout it's going to be more the high volume approach. So I first do a lot of sets with 25 reps, then 20 reps, then 15 reps, then 12 reps with one arm, which I'm doing right here. And so you start out really light, focus on the side delt, because if you would go very heavy, you simply would have your traps working with the side delts, and that's the trap, literally, what a lot of people fall into when training the side delts. Don't fall into the trap by using the traps. Use lighter weight and feel those side delts contract. And this is an even better exercise to feel those side delts, the incline side dumbbell lateral raise. Now you do need a bench for this. Put it on a slight incline or pretty much 45 degrees, and it allows you to put a lot more and longer tension on the side delt. Imagine when you're standing up and you're holding the dumbbell to your side. There's no tension on the delt anymore because you're simply holding the dumbbell. Here, when the arm is to your side, you can still see the tension on the side delt because I still need to hold the dumbbell up. So the whole range of motion is under tension. That is the benefit of this exercise compared to the standing variation. I do like to combine the two because it simply targets different angles. You know, when you go through this full range of motion, the tension placed upon different parts of the range of motion is different compared to a standing side dumbbell lateral raise, which simply makes it a different exercise, kind of a different angle to hit the side delts with. And that's what bodybuilding is all about. Hitting the same muscle from as many angles as you can with as much efficiency as you can by not using other muscles. Simply only use the muscle that you're training. So with efficiency I mean you target the muscle that you're training, because otherwise if you use a lot other muscles, of course it's going to be more efficient energy wise to get the dumbbell up, but you want to make it feel like a burning sensation. That's when you know you're doing the exercise the correct way. Now again, the weight I was able to use on the standing variation was 17.5 kilos. Here it's not even 10, it's 9 kilograms to the max. And here I really have to focus on doing the necessary amount of reps, because if you don't, you simply will fail. It's a very, simple, but at the same time advanced exercise, because you cannot use a heavy weight, but you must make that weight feel heavy for the muscle. And then this one, the OG followers of my channel will recognize this exercise and why I'm doing it. It is an upright row. A lot of people use it for the traps, for the front delts, but I'm using it for the side delts because I'm using a wide grip. The wider the grip is, the more the tension is shifted to the side delts. Just look at my arms. Imagine imagine dumbbells being in my hands, and look at the way my arm is moving. Yes, it's pretty much a lateral raise, but this time with a barbell. An easy curl bar to be exact. You want to use smaller plates here, because if you use big plates, they will get in the way, they will hit your elbow, your forearms, and you also want to do relatively high volume here, at least 15 reps, except for maybe the last set, because if you go too heavy, you simply will use other muscles and you only want to use the side delt. And now we move on to the rear delts. And again, guys, if you know me, we don't target the front delts. Maybe one exercise at the end, but usually I only focus on the side and the rear, because that's what you should focus on if you want complete shoulders, because everybody already trains the front delts from training the chest, for example. And if you then also do a military press or a front raise, the front delts will overdevelop compared to the rear delts and the side delts, and it won't be a boulder shoulder, it will simply be a disproportionate lock. And when you're hitting a side chest or a back double bicep, it won't look as aesthetic or as good compared to having a perfectly proportionate shoulder. And this, if you are a bodybuilder, is the way to do that. And this is just like the side lateral raise with the favorite exercise for the side delts. For the rear delts is the reverse dumbbell fly. So you really hit the rear delts here specifically. So what you want to do, simply position yourself like this and then move the dumbbell in a fly movement to the top, but don't use the traps, only use those rear delts. So what you don't want to do again is use a very heavy weight, because then it will simply turn into a shrug. Now here, if you look closely, my hand positioning has changed. Instead of a strict dumbbell fly, I'm doing another set, because I just want the failure on the previous one. I'm doing another set using the same weight but a different hand positioning, kind of turning it into a rear delt row compared to a rear delt fly. Now a rowing movement makes it easier, because then the biceps are also helping me. So I'm doing like 5 or 6 more reps with the same weight, allowing me to push those rear delts beyond the failure point of before. And this is the seated face pull. This is the exercise I was talking about that you can't do with a barbell or dumbbells. But if you have a resistance band, simply wrap it around a pole, stand if you want, put it at eye height and do this exercise. And every single set you step behind one step to make it more difficult, because then the resistance is greater. But what you want to do here is also high volume. That to me is a secret to having bigger shoulders. This seated face pull really allows you to not only hit the rear delts but also the traps, and this is a great transitioning movement for the next exercise which we will do. You will see that shortly, but here the tension is constant. As you can see, when I'm stretching out, I'm not resting, I'm moving constantly to keep the tension on those rear delts where I want it. And I do make sure that I don't go to failure until I hit the very last set, because we already did quite a lot of exercises, and if you go to failure too early, you simply won't have the power, the energy to keep going on the later sets, and they simply will be pretty much wasted, not allowing you to hit the same amount of volume as I am right here. You really want to be able to fill up those rear delts and the side delts with higher volume and a relatively, a medium weight, not super light, but not heavy at all. Except, guys, when doing the barbell shrugs, because this is a pure trap movement. I haven't done this one in quite a while, but I love it. And I haven't done it in quite a while because back in the day I made a mistake, and you guys want to make sure not to make that same mistake by not, I wasn't holding the barbell in the middle exactly, so one hand shifted a bit more to the right compared to the other, and that put more tension on one arm and put a lot more tension on the bicep on that arm, and that kind of pulled the tendon, which really kind of messed up that bicep for a good while. So really watch out with that. Some people even tear their biceps from doing deadlifts that way, so you don't want to do that. Here you want to completely straighten your arms and purely do the reps with the traps. Some people like to use their arms a little bit. You can see them literally curling the barbell up a little bit as they go to the very top. But what you want to do here is stretch all the way down and go all the way up with the weight as heavy as you can. In my opinion, don't go below 10 reps, maybe 8 or 9, but don't go below 10 because then you simply go way too heavy. When you hit your heaviest set, then hit this set with the most amount of reps you can with a medium weight, so not light, not super heavy, but medium like this, to be able to fatigue those traps to the max, hitting both a heavy load and a medium load with more volume to failure will hit the traps in a better way than only hitting it with one type of rep range. Okay guys, that was the end of the workout. I'm right here editing it as we speak, and I'm wearing my blue light blocking glasses. You can see the glasses are a bit orange, blocking blue light, and that means I'll be able to sleep a lot sooner, deeper, and better. But I'll make a video about that quite soon. It has been a while since I posted a regular workout video, and of course the reasoning for that is that I didn't want to continuously show myself working out while most of you are forced to stay home and not being able to go to the gym. But recently, well, not recently, but over this last period of time, some gyms have been opening all over the world. A lot of countries have actually opened up the gyms, some countries actually for quite a while already. So I do think that people simply also want to see workouts to be inspired, even if they can't go to the gym yet, just to write them down, just to make sure to make a list of like 10 workouts you want to try out the next time you go to the gym, lay them out, see which one you like, see which tips you like from them, and just prepare to make the best workout split you possibly can. And talking about the workout split, I will very soon post my exact workout split. It's been a while since I've been saying that. That's true. But I will post my exact workout split. And right now I'm actually in a mini cut. So as you guys know, I will be preparing for the Mr. Olympia. It has been postponed a few months after the original date. And that meant that I had a few more, pretty much 2 to 3 months extra off season. But in total, it was a little too long for me to stay, in a healthy body fat range. Because some people say you have to push yourself, doesn't matter in the off season, just put on as much weight as you can, force feed yourself. That might be true for the open bodybuilders, but for me, and health-wise, and actually progression-wise, it's not smart to do that, because if you do, when your fat stores start to increase, which inevitably will happen if you go into an off-season for too long, then your insulin sensitivity will decrease, your appetite will decrease, your digestion will decrease. Things will simply decrease. Progression won't be made as efficiently as if you did when you were at a lower body fat. So what I'll be doing is I'm doing a mini cut for at least 4 weeks, maybe a little bit more depending on how fast everything goes. So a mini cut doesn't mean, a small cut. It actually means a pretty aggressive cut for a short while. And in that short while, the goal is to hold performance in the gym. The moment that starts to drop off, that's when you have to up the calories again, because ultimately I do want to keep progressing before officially starting the prep for the Olympia. So now I'm doing the mini cut, then continuing my lean bulk in a better body fat state. And keep in mind, my body fat isn't super high at all. Well, you can't really see it here, but it's not super high, pretty much 10, maybe 11%. But for me, I noticed that some of my fat stores that I normally see become the biggest in the off season have pretty much filled up to the point where I'm saying, okay, now it's time to back off a little bit, because I do want to stay in good shape for all the reasons I mentioned before. So I'll be taking you into that journey of a mini cut as well. Maybe you're interested in that yourself. So if you are, well, then make sure to keep watching this channel, because more footage will be coming. Okay guys, really thank you a lot for watching, and don't forget to stay golden.